Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. My name is Jordan, and this is a all levels vinyasa flow designed to inspire some movement from center in an attempt to get in touch with our seat of empowerment, all the while noticing the points of contact we make with the surface supporting us, maybe to cultivate a little bit of grounding, a sense of safety and security. With that in mind, this is your practice. This is your time. You make all of the decisions here about what happens on the four corners of your mat, not only physically, but also energetically, mentally, emotionally. So feel free to take any shape at any time. I'm here merely to suggest you're welcome to also grab a couple of blocks, maybe a blanket or a pillow, maybe all of those things. And we'll meet in a comfortable seat, whatever that feels like to you today. Maybe you'd like to join me in sitting up on a block, inviting some space in the hips, and resting the hands in the lap or anywhere that feels intuitive, feels comforting. You can be cross-legged or kneeling. And if it feels right, you can close the eyes or soften the gaze, or you're always welcome to keep them open. We'll start our time here with a gentle inquiry of the breath. Noticing as it passes without judgment, perhaps like a wave through the body. Notice its path, its rise and fall without judgment. And if this seems a little bit easier said than done today, that's okay. Notice the space between the whole top row and the whole bottom row of teeth. Invite the tongue to rest at the bottom of the mouth. Notice if this has an impact on any holding or tension in the body. And imagine you could send the spaciousness of your inhales to those spaces. Bringing awareness to the points of contact you make with the surface beneath you, its temperature, its texture. And trust you are held here, not only by your mat, but by this practice, by this time. And you're welcome to continue breathing, being as you are. Or you can join me for a cycle of breath here to breathe together in community. A reminder to ourselves, perhaps, that we no longer have to walk alone. Deep breath in through the nose. And a long breath out through the mouth. If you had the gaze soft or the eyes closed down, you can begin to blink the eyes open, maybe wiggle the fingers, and roll the wrists, bringing in movements to the body here. Anything that feels intuitive. And on your next breath in, I invite you to sweep the hands up high overhead. Breathe into all four corners of the torso. Option to press the palms together, maybe gaze up. And exhale, twist to the right. Gentle twist here. Left hand maybe to the right knee or thigh. Right fingertips content behind the body, or maybe they slide into an imaginary jean pocket on the low back. Rolling the right shoulder back. Gazing wherever feels most supportive for the neck. And sweep the breath from the tail to the crown. On your inhale, come back through center. Option again to press the palms up high overhead. And this time, exhale to cactus. Maybe press the palms outward, spread the fingertips wide. Inhale to reach, draw the palms up overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Twisting any amount here. Gently wringing out the spine. On an inhale, unravel, come back through center. Again, maybe we press the palms together up overhead. And exhale to cactus through the elbows. Lift the heart. And release. We'll bring the palms to the tops of the thighs or the knees. If you opted for a cross-legged seat, go ahead and switch the cross off your legs if that feels good. And just begin to circle the abdomen. Moving one way, inhaling to come forward and around, and exhaling to come back and through, noticing how that breath pattern feels, if it resonates. And if it doesn't, find your own. Create space your way, exaggerating this movement as much or as little as feels good. Maybe we begin to invite the shoulders along this dance with us. Maybe the head and the neck begins to move as well. And you can begin to reverse your circle if you haven't already. Noticing how it feels to move in the opposite direction. And make your way back through center. And we'll shift forward into our tabletop shape. Shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hip points, fingerprints spread wide. Think sticky tree frog, pressing into all of the fingerprints. Maybe the center palm lifts. Always an option to come up onto the fists. Toes can be tucked for a little bonus stretch in the bottoms of the feet, or untucked for a little bit of a different sensation, different sense of engagement, rooting down through the tops of the feet to take pressure out of the knees. For me, I'm going to go ahead and bring my blanket in to pad the knees. You're welcome to join me there as well. And on an inhale, soften the abdomen towards the earth, lift the tail, lift the heart, breathe into the front of the body, and exhale, round the spine, chin towards the chest. Inhale for your cow shape, lifting the heart and the tail. Exhale for your cat shape, round the spine any amount. And you're welcome to stay within this cow-cat movement or add a layer that feels good. Remove a layer that doesn't. Maybe you even veer off the cow-cat railroad tracks entirely. You have options here. Move with your breath. Allow this to be what inspires you, like a dance partner. And we allow the breath to lead. Noticing its depth and quality without judgment. Find another round or two. we'll meet back in our tabletop shape. As you're ready, extend the right toes towards the back of your space. Maybe rock and roll on the ball of that foot. And on your next inhale, lift the right foot up and over to the left. Side body bend. Option to gaze over the left shoulder. Take a deep breath into the right side body. And exhale, draw the right knee up towards the chest. We can always take it nice and around. Find a nice wide circle here with the right knee. And step the right foot towards the right thumb. You can also take your right hand and place the right foot there. Finding our low lunge. Maybe reaching for our blocks if that feels good. Using this as an opportunity to empower space for the breath. Squeezing the inner thighs to an invisible midline. For stability, getting in touch with that mula bandha, your root lock. Fingertips on the earth, framing the right foot, maybe on our blocks. And as you're ready, maybe you'd like to try interlacing the hands on the top of the right thigh, seeing how that feels. Option to roll the shoulders back and down, maybe gaze up. And if we're on our blocks, we can do the same, rolling the shoulders back, opening through the heart space. Taking what you need here. Ensuring we're not dumping any excess energy, excess pressure into the lumbar spine, the low back, right hip pulls back to meet the left. Inhale here. And exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. This is also a great place for our blocks. We'll guide the right hip back to meet the left as we flex into the right foot. Maybe you'd like to take a moment to pulse back and forth or explore a bend in the right knee. Option to tick-tock the right heel side to side. Keeping that nice long spine, or if it feels good, maybe we let the crown hang heavy without compromising the integrity of our foundation here. Using the breath to make empowered and informed decisions about how we want to move today. We'll take one more deep breath in here. Charge the right sit bone towards the back of your space. Flex into that right foot, maybe spread the toes. And exhale to bend into the right knee. We'll plant the palms or walk your blocks forward, tuck the left toes, and step your left foot forward to a halfway lift. Long spine, fingertips on your blocks or on the shins. And exhale, release. Option to fold, bending into the knees. Maybe letting the head hang heavy here. Again, super mindful of our low back. And lift the toes, feel into all four corners of the feet. Send the sit bones back in space, round the spine, and we root to rise, drawing the energy up from the bottoms of the feet. Soften the toes back down. And as we find our tall, beautiful mountain, loop the shoulders around 1 or 2 times. Head over heart, over hips, over knees, over ankles. All of the joints stacked. Finding stability. And maybe the eyes of the palms shine forward. And we take a cycle of breath here. Noticing how it feels to breathe here, holding ourselves up in space with a little bit of integrity in the spine. And inhale to reach high mountain. Biceps by the ears, maybe pinkies forward, thumbs back. And exhale to fold. Bend the knees to hinge at the hips. Maybe we reach for our blocks. Inhale to lift halfway. And exhale to fold. We can plant the palms on the earth or our blocks and step the feet back to our tabletop shape. Taking a moment, if you'd like, to circle the spine. Maybe find a round or 2 of cow-cat. And reset. Shoulders over the wrists, knees under the hip points. Inhale the left toes back. Rock and roll on the ball of that foot. Another great option is to have blocks under the hands and tabletop. More space to breathe, to honor this life force, prana, moving here, keeping you steady. And on your next inhale, left foot up and over to the right side, body bend. Maybe we take a peek over the right shoulder, deep breath in. And exhale, left knee to chest, maybe arching the spine, or you can swing the left leg around and stamp the left foot to the inside of the left thumb. You can also have it a little wider if that feels good. And take a moment up nice and tall here on your blocks or fingertips on the earth. Noticing if this side is unique in some way. And honor that uniqueness. Squeezing the inner thighs together, just like our first side, and pulling the left hip back to meet the right. Nice sturdy base here. Maybe this inspires a little bit of lift and length in the torso. And maybe we want to stay a little bit closer to the mat, closer to the earth today. That's okay. We can also interlace the hands and bring them on the top of the left thigh, lifting the heart, maybe gliding the shoulders down the back body. And breathe here. And one more inhale in your Anjanasana, your low lunge. And exhale to release. We'll frame the left foot and guide the left hip back to meet the right, finding Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits on the second side. Maybe we find our nice tall blocks. Option to scooch the left heel forward, maybe tick-tock the foot side to side. Spread the toes. And notice the breath. Eventually finding our version of stillness, keeping in mind stillness is not this rigid, stagnant thing. It's presence, unbiased awareness, without ignoring any subtle implications from the body to make an adjustment. Accommodating where we are today. Maybe it's a little bit different than yesterday or even an hour ago. That's okay too. And if you'd like, you can join me in really flexing fiercely into that left foot, spreading the toes, dig the left heel into the mat as if you want to drag it back. Maybe lead with the heart forward, charge the left sit bone towards the back of your space, keeping that tiny bend in the left knee. Inhale here. And exhale to rebend the left knee. You can walk your blocks or your palms forward, tuck the right toes, and step the right foot forward, halfway lift. And from here, we'll airplane the arms. Send the pinkies back by the hips. Stay up nice and long here. Option to find a soft bend in the knees. Noticing how this might impact sensation. And inhale here. Imagine crown and tail moving in opposite directions. And exhale here. And with the feet hips width or flush together, reach the biceps by the ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink the hips back in space. Option to keep the biceps by the ears or maybe hands at the heart, finding stability from center. 360-degree core engagement in this shape. And if we're feeling like maybe we're sticking the tail out, take a moment to breathe in, lift the heart. And on your exhale, imagine the tail growing roots down towards the earth as we feel into all four corners of the feet. Option to press the palms together if they're at the heart. Maybe draw them a little lower to the start of the sternum. Noticing if that inspires a little bit more length here. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Fold, let it go. Folding any amount. And root to rise, bending into the knees, rounding the spine. This time we find high mountain. Option to press the palms together and find a gentle back bend. Think long puppy belly. And exhale to fold, release, let it go. Inhale, half lift. And exhale to fold. We'll plant the palms, step the feet back to your plank shape, knees up or down. Prioritizing length in the spine and engagement in the abdominal muscles. Taking 3 steady breaths wherever you've landed. We can also be in our tabletop shape. Finding core engagement in a place that feels supportive and empowering. One more inhale. And on your exhale, lower the knees if you have them lifted, the chest and the chin, squeezing the elbows in towards the side body. And inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Root down through the tops of the feet. Inhale to lift the heart, lifting from the base of the skull. And exhale, release, forehead taps down. 2 more. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale to lower. 1 more. Your breath, your movement. And we'll press into the palms and align the hips over the knees. Walk the palms forward for Anahatanasana, for your puppy pose. Or if you'd like, you can find a wide-legged child's pose, Balasana, taking the knees as wide as you'd like them to be. Maybe the big toes trending in towards each other, and curl the fingertips forward. Option to bring a block underneath the chest and or the forehead in either of these shapes. Taking a moment to breathe here, melting the armor of the heart space. Finding 3 to 5 slow, steady breaths wherever you've landed. As you're ready, you can press into the palms. We all root down through the tops of the feet and slide the wrists underneath the shoulders. Let's find our cat pose in our tabletop shape, either shifting forward. And inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Option to pause here in your tabletop shape. Or if you'd like, you can tuck the toes, sink the hips towards the heels, and then send the hips towards the sky for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. If you'd like to see how it feels to give yourself a little bit more space, bringing blocks underneath the hands for your downward dog, maybe that might be something you'd like to explore here. Seeing how it feels to bring depth to the breath in this shape. Wherever you are, wrap the upper arm bones out. Maybe if we're in our downward dog, we bend generously into the knees and melt the abdomen towards the tops of the thighs as the heart gets heavy towards the earth. The heels don't have to root down. Just bring an awareness to their heaviness, sending the energy up through the fingerprints, through the arms, releasing the head, the neck, the shoulders, down and out the backs of the legs. And maybe here, in our downward dog or our tabletop shape, we hug the low ribs in. On an inhale, you can either kick the right foot back in your tabletop shape, or if you'd like, you can inhale the right leg high in downward dog for 3-legged dog. Right toes turned down either way. Inhale here. And exhale to step the right foot towards your right thumb, arching the spine as we go to create space, And if you'd like to ground the left knee for your Anjaneyasana, for your low lunge, you're welcome to explore that shape. Or if you'd like, we can lift the left knee and find our high crescent. Pulling the right hip back to meet the left, pressing into the left toes to maybe spike through that heel. And kind of similar options, yeah? We can have our left knee lifted, hands on our blocks. Maybe we'd like to keep our fingertips interlaced on the right thigh or hands on the hips. Take a moment to find a nice sturdy base here. Head over heart, over hips. Inhaling to sweep the breath from the tail to the crown. And exhaling to root down here. Stability from center, bringing awareness to that space between the navel and the low ribs. Inhale here. And exhale, option for Ardha Hanumanasana, your half splits, or Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Guiding the right hip back, maybe hooking the right thumb into the right hip crease for a little self-adjustment. Exploring a little bend in this right knee. Very similar to our half split shape. And if you'd like, you can keep the left heel lifted or bump it up, ground the heel. Really seal the outside edge of that foot. Notice how that might impact sensation. Option to stay nice and long. Or if you'd like, maybe begin to explore a bend in the elbows. Allow the head to hang heavy. Maybe curl the fingertips back by the left toes. And breathe here. On your next inhale, begin to lift and lengthen. We're framing the right foot, deep breath in. Exhale to rebend the right knee. And we lift the left knee if we're in our Anjaneyasana or our runner's lunge or low lunge. And step the left foot forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. We're gonna add on to our sequence here. Exhale, bring the biceps by the ears or hands at the heart. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Using your exhales to sink a little lower physically or energetically here. Allowing the tailbone to grow nice and long towards the earth. And inhale to rise, high mountain. Exhale to fold, release, let it go. Inhale for your half lift. And exhale to fold. Plant the palms and step the feet back to your plank shape, knees up or down. An option to find tabletop near cow cat or lower again to your Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Finding a back bend of your choice. Maybe even taking a few breaths in a wide-legged child's pose. And we'll meet in our tabletop or downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here and a long breath out. And we'll find our sequence one more time with our little chair pose at the end. As you're ready, you can kick the left toes back in space for three-legged dog or your three-legged table. And exhale, left knee to chest and step the left foot forward, finding your lunge shape. Option, again, to keep the right knee lifted or grounded here. Taking what you need to honor this side of the body. Any arm variation that feels supportive here. Keeping that integrity in our foundation and allowing that to inspire lift through the center line, maybe to the sky. One more inhale here. And exhale, find your pyramid pose or half splits. Pulling the left hip back gently to meet the right. Maybe we play with bumping the right foot up, sealing the outside edge of that foot. And breathe here. As you're ready, begin to lift and lengthen. And rebend the left knee. And step the right foot forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Slide the palms to the tops of the thighs or airplane the arms if it feels good. Exhale here. Inhale, hands at the heart or biceps by the ears, pinkies down. Inhale here, get nice and long. And exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. One more time. Pausing here. Exploring the depth of our bend in our knees. Noticing how it feels to create a little bit more space. Maybe bending them a little bit less. And having a little bit more room to breathe. Do we feel empowered by this decision? One more cycle of breath here. And inhale, high mountain. Exhale to fold, release, let it go. Inhale for half lift. And exhale to fold. We'll plant the palms and step the feet back to your plank shape, knees up or down. You're welcome to take any of the other options we've mentioned, or if you'd like, maybe we find Chaturanga Dandasana, pausing halfway, elbows hugging in, like you want to balance the rib cage on the triceps and roll onto the tops of the feet, or keep the toes tucked. And on an exhale, lower the knees, tuck the toes, and send it back to child's pose or downward facing dog. Taking a moment, 3 cycles of breath, wherever you've landed, to embrace space your way. We can also be kneeling in our thunderbolts or supported Virasana shape. The block or a blanket under the seat. 3 breaths wherever you've landed. If you're in your child's pose or your thunderbolt, you can make your way to tabletop or downward facing dog. And we'll move into a couple of hip openers, lots of options and proptions along the way. So whether we're in our tabletop or our downward dog, same dealio, my friends. Kick the right foot back in your balancing table or your 3-legged dog. And on an exhale, arch the spine and draw the right knee up towards the right wrist. Ground the left knee and sink the hips towards the right. And we'll find our half pigeon with our left knee bent. If you want to slide it long down the back of your space, you're welcome to do so. For me, my knees are feeling a little bit sensitive today. So I'm going to go ahead and bend my left knee and draw it up towards my right foot. If you'd like, you can also join me in placing a blanket underneath the right hip, taking a couple of blocks out in front on any height, staying up nice and tall. And maybe we begin to walk the blocks forward, coming to the forearms, or even bending into the elbows and cradling the head in the hands. Noticing how it feels to be held, to be supported here in this shape. And allow the physical body to begin to soften wherever you've landed. And we'll be here for about 10 full cycles of breath. Begin to lift the torso, walking the palms in. Take a moment up nice and tall, maybe to circle the nose. Just a moment to receive here. And as you're ready, maybe with your hands still on your blocks, we'll shift forward and take it back to tabletop or downward facing dog. So just release the right side of the body, the right hip, in whatever way feels good, maybe drawing some knee circles. Or if you'd like, perhaps you'd like to flip your dog, taking the right foot high, bending the knee, and taking the right toes up and over, lifting the hips, both feet grounded. Or anywhere in between. And we'll meet again in our downward dog or our tabletop shape. And we'll kick the left toes back, either towards the back of our space or up high. Deep breath in. And exhale to slide the left knee towards the left wrist. Keeping in mind, we can always have the left heel closer in. Shin does not have to be parallel with the mat. And begin to use the hands as a little bit of leverage to negotiate our landing, sinking the left hip towards our blanket, maybe a block. And you have that option, again, to slide the right leg long if that feels good. Or maybe we bend into the right knee, bring it up to the bottom of the left foot, anywhere along that journey. And you can join me in sitting up on a blanket if that feels good. Noticing if this side maybe calls for something a little bit different, that's okay. And taking a couple breaths, sitting up nice and tall. Puffing up through the chest, like our pigeon. And then hinging forward and folding any amount for 10 full cycles of breath. Begin to lift the torso, walking the palms in. And we can shift forward, pressing into our palms or the blocks. And take it back to your tabletop or your downward dog. Just to release that left hip in any way that feels good. Bring a little bit of life back to the pathways of the body. And as you're ready, we'll meet in our tabletop shape. If you're in your downward dog, take a deep breath in, come up nice and high on the tippy toes. And on an exhale, slow descend of the knees, coming back to the support of your mat. And we all sink the hips towards the heels, swing the feet to one side, and kick the heels out a little bit wide. Plant the palms behind the body. And just begin to wipe the knees from side to side, finding little windshield wiper motions. And take the legs out long. You may like to have a block or two handy. This is also a great opportunity to grab a sip of water. Make sure you have whatever you like to have for your transition into rest. Maybe that's a bolster to take underneath the knees. That's a great option. Just having those things nearby so we can support ourselves as we make this transition into rest and restoration. And when you're ready, you can find a nice slow roll down to the back body. And when you arrive, stretch out nice and long, taking a deep breath in. And on an exhale, banana pose, up and over to the right. So walking the heels any amount to the right. Maybe we'd like to shimmy the head, the neck, the shoulders up and over to the right as well. Option to reach the hands up overhead, or maybe they rest on the rib cage or just at either side. You can also cross one ankle over the other if that feels good. And breathe into the left side of the body, allowing it to oscillate, to circle, clearing away anything stagnant or not serving, anything that's been adjusted that no longer fits the blueprint. If you walk the arms up and over to the right, go ahead and use them as leverage, as well as the back of the head to come back through center. Uncross the legs and take it up and over to the left. Any amount here, finding this nice crescent shape, your version. Maybe the cheek falls to one side or the head stays neutral. Beginning to allow these more passive shapes to inform rest, to prepare the body and the mind to receive the benefits of this practice as we move a little closer to Shavasana. As you're ready, begin to walk the feet back through center. And we'll find one more big full body stretch here, reaching long from fingertips to toes. And on an exhale, hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze, a little hug here. Option to allow the knees to hang over the hip points, driving the kneecaps like little stick shifts with the hands. If happy baby is in your practice, you're welcome to take the knees wide, maybe reach for the backs of the thighs or the feet. Using this as an opportunity to invite length and comfort to the low back, the lumbar spine, your root space, your Muladhara Chakra, the seat of safety and security, a powerful space. But I know for me, it can be a really sensitive space. So take what you need to bring a little bit of light and love to that part of the body. And if it feels right, you can close down the eyes. And if you're in your happy baby, go ahead and release the feet, the backs of the legs. And we'll find constructive rest, all of us together, if that feels good. Taking the feet a little bit wider than the hips, allowing the knees to gently knock in towards the midline. You have an option here as well to take a bolster or a block underneath the knees. It's one of my favorite ways to find a little bit of low back support. And snuggling the shoulder blades beneath the back body, lifting the heart space here, gently allowing a mild opening, just a softening of that space. And if you'd like, you can also lift the back of the head, tuck the chin, release it back down, invite some length in the back of the neck. And allow the hands to rest wherever feels comfortable. For me, that's usually over the abdomen. It's comforting, it's soothing. But for you, that may look different, and that's okay. Maybe you'd like to keep the eyes open or incorporate an eye covering. Wherever you are, allow the body to begin to rest here simply by bringing the breath back to its own natural rhythm, releasing our grip, allowing it to come and go with ease, and trusting it will continue to come and go as we rest here in Shavasana. You're welcome to stay in your rest shape for as long as time allows. But if you're ready, if it's time to take this practice off the mat and into the next chapter of your day, I invite you to deepen the breath, bringing awareness to the air on your skin. Brush fingertip to fingertip. And as you're ready, you can stretch out long or curl in tight, coming home to yourself in a way that feels organic and intuitive. And allow the knees to drape to one side, rolling over or rocking up to a comfortable seat. Finding any upright position that feels good, or again, maybe we continue resting. Keeping in mind rest is a powerful choice. Giving ourselves what we need is a powerful choice. It is a way of allowing ourselves to be heard here, to be supported here by the practice and by ourselves together. And I invite you to take a cycle of breath to close out this time, to leave each other in body but not in spirit. If you'd like, if it feels right, you can join the thumbs together at the heart space for Anjali Mudra, or just stack one palm over the other, over the center of the chest. And take a moment to notice how it feels to touch your own hand. And as you're ready, wherever you are, however you are, we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it go. You can release the palms. If the gaze was soft or the eyes are closed, you can flutter them open and make your way into your next cycle of breath. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me. It's always such a treat, such a privilege to be here as your guide. Thank you for taking this time to bring a little bit more presence to your world and in turn the world of those around you. For that, I am deeply, deeply grateful for you. So be well and namaste.